Hello everybody. Happy Sunday. It's time to make a little brunch. And we're going to do something that's just a little bit different. Not eggs and bacon and things like that. We are going to make chocolate gravy, hot pudding and biscuits. It's whatever you want to call it is what we're going to make, okay? So we're waiting for a few of you guys to get logged on here so we get started. This whole thing takes about 10, 12 minutes, okay? So it's easy to make, and the one thing I want you to know is that I'm making a memory today, okay? I'm making a memory of my grandmother. She used to make this for us when we would go visit her in West Virginia, and it was so fun and great memories of this. And I think my mom didn't make it intentionally, so my grandmother could make it. This was her thing, and this is what we would do. How's your weekend going? Everybody doing okay? Good. So these are the ingredients that you need to make this. If you don't like calling it chocolate gravy, call it hot pudding, okay? It's basically the same thing. I'll give you a hack here at the end that you can do, but we're going to make this from scratch. So it's very easy to do. I'm making this, I told you, as a memory, okay? So I'm going to make it like my grandmother made it, and she would make it with canned biscuits, okay? Really small canned biscuits, and the only place I've been able to find these are the Walmart brand small little canned biscuits. There's like 10 of them in here, okay? So the first thing, turn your oven on, 400 degrees. Let's get it going. I see some of you guys talking to me here, and I can't quite see from there. I see you talking about grandmothers and stuff. Yes, such great memories of grandmothers, right? Okay, so here we go. Let's talk ingredients. Oven, 400 degrees. Canned biscuits. You can use homemade if you want. This reminds me of my grandmother. You need 3/4 cups of white sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour, 1/4 cup of cocoa, and I'm talking about Hershey's cocoa, whatever you have. Okay, 2 cups of milk. You'll finish this with 2 teaspoons of vanilla and a tablespoon of butter. It's that simple. Let's get our biscuits going first, okay, because they're going to take the longest time. Here goes the part that I hate to do. Do you hate opening these things? So usually, if I'm going to make biscuits, I don't make them from scratch. I'll use a frozen biscuit, but this is, like I told you, there it goes, is something I'm making that reminds me of my grandmother. So, this is how she did it. I'm going to use a cast iron skillet because you guys know I like using a cast iron skillet. She also used a cast iron skillet. I'm putting these need to touch on the edges. They don't have to be really neat in here. You can just kind of pop them in through that. There we go. Have you been outside yet? What a beautiful day we are having outside. It is so nice. So today my plan is to, when I'm done with this, I'm going to go for a little run. I might go to the gym for a little bit. I've been watching Stranger Things. Have you guys been watching that? I guess there's a new season out or whatever from Netflix. And so I've kind of spent some of the weekend watching some of that. It's been kind of fun. So when we would go to my grandmother's house, she lived, it was about a 5-hour drive, so we didn't go there that much. We went there just a few times a year. We would go there. I'm going to pull my little mic here. There we go. So we'd go there a few times a year and visit with her. So this was always a special treat. She would make us her spaghetti sauce. She would make us chocolate gravy and biscuits for breakfast. My oven's already hot. I'm going to pop those in. Again, it's about 8 to 12 minutes. So somebody do me a favor, set a timer so I don't miss this. Okay? 8 to 12 minutes. My timer is my phone, which is what I'm shooting this on, so that's not going to work. So let's go ahead and get started with this. We've got 1/4 cup of cocoa, 3 tablespoons of white flour, 3/4 cup of white sugar, okay, and then 2 cups of milk. And you just stir all this together. You just whisk it together until it's incorporated in there. Just takes a minute to do this. The great thing about this is by the time this is done, your biscuits are done. Okay? And you know, the one thing as I'm sitting here looking around, I forgot to put out a plate or a bowl to put this in, so I'll have to grab one of those. Which is a lot more challenging than you might think because I have a mic that I'm connected to. So, we'll figure it out as we go. Just as I was getting ready to start this today, the camera fell over on me. So, if you saw a false start, it started and then I had to go back and delete it. So that happens sometimes. Okay, so I've kind of got this incorporated. I don't know if I can show you this or not. It's just mixed together, okay? So it looks like chocolate milk, really. Get it on the stove. There we go. Don't walk away from that very, very far, okay? So, but I'm going to ease my way over here and pull on my mic just a little bit. Sorry, guys. I've got to get a bowl or a plate or something. So here we go. I'm going to stretch and hopefully not make a mess. There we go. I did it. No problem. Okay? It's harder to do than you might think. What are our ingredients again? Canned biscuits, frozen biscuits, homemade biscuits, whatever you want. 1/4 cup of cocoa, 3 tablespoons of flour, 3/4 cup white sugar, 2 cups of milk, a tablespoon of butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then you want to stir this stuff up. And you've got to stir this while this is going. And it takes 7 or 8 minutes. So we got to keep watching it here very carefully so I don't burn it down. Back the heat off of that just a little bit. So yeah, my grandmother, this was a funny thing. She did not like you sleeping in at her house. She didn't like it. And so she would get up and rattle pots and pans around so you get out of bed. And so we never slept very well there. But she made up for it because she would make this chocolate gravy and biscuits. And we just thought it was the greatest thing. Their house was a funny house to sleep in. So they had a very noisy refrigerator that you would hear all night. And then they had a clock like this that you could hear, you know, one of these old click, 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 click clocks. Some of you guys, you never used one of these. They're wind-up clocks. So, and if you look, I didn't know you could see this, but if you look, let's see, right over there, there's a blue clock in the corner. That clock was always hanging on her wall. And when she passed away, so all of her kids, they said, you know, her daughters and son, they asked all of us grandkids if there was anything that we wanted from the house, from my grandmother's house. And I wanted that clock. I wanted the clock and a chair. So those were the two things that my mom and her sisters and her brother, they decided that was something that I could have. And so they're great memories for me. And this is a great memory for me to make this. I've told you guys about my grandmother's spaghetti. That's another great memory that we always did. Are you guys ready for the holidays? I think what we're going to do, and this would be very helpful, if you guys enjoy seeing these, if you wouldn't mind giving them a like, maybe sharing it, letting me know if you like seeing this kind of stuff, because it is something that I do anyway. I think it's enjoyable, it's fun, and I like to be able to share this stuff with you guys, so I appreciate the likes on that for sure. I'm also working on, I told you guys I've got a little blog, a food blog. It's called Paul's Plate. It's on Instagram. There's a Facebook page. I'm working on it and a website. It's just Paul's Plate, okay? So I'm working on putting these videos on there so you guys can look at it. Blogs are a lot of work. I'm just going to tell you that. So it's not as updated as I'd like it to be, but I'm working on it. So that's a hobby. So cooking for me is just a hobby. I'm just looking at this. What you guys are saying. Yeah, holiday brunches and breakfasts and things like that. Are you guys throwing any parties? Last year I did a holiday brunch. It was fun. It was a lot of work. Has anyone reminded me about my biscuits? They're still in there cooking. They're going. I hope they're going. We need them to cook up for us. So, chocolate gravy, yeah. Some of you guys call it chocolate gravy, some of you don't. We're basically making pudding, okay? So here's my hack, I'll go ahead and tell you. If you don't want to mix all these ingredients together, buy Cook and Serve Jell-O and instant, or not instant, you can't do instant, but you can do Cook and Serve pudding if you're trying to make this quickly. And it's so similar, your guests won't know the difference, okay? So, but it's a lot of fun to make it homemade. So I just kind of, it's good memories. This is what she would do, and so I think it's kind of fun to do it that way. So, what have you guys been up to this weekend? Ball games, yeah? So there were lots of ball games on. Homecoming at OU last night. And Halloween parties. Who did a Halloween party? I went to a Halloween party last night. It was a huge, huge party. And there were lots of people there. And this was a house party. And what was interesting about this house party is they actually had security there, and which was really nice. You know, it's unfortunate what's going on in life right now. I don't want to open that up because I'm trying to get those things to cook, so I don't want to open that up too much. But it is kind of sad what's going on where we're trying to, you know, have a good time and have a party, and you've got to make sure there's security there. So this is cooking up really well. I'm stirring this. My biscuits are in the oven here. They're 8 to 10 minutes, and they're going. I hope they're going. They don't look as good as I think they need to look at this particular time in this. So, Mike, you're hanging out with your family. That's great. But you don't use vanilla or butter. When you make this, Nikki, when you make this, you don't use vanilla or butter. Well, here's, I read about this, is that it just makes it a little bit richer. And so, it's an easy thing to do. You can just add a little butter and a little vanilla in there. It makes it super easy and super simple. So anyway, but this party was really fun. There were lots of people that were dressed up. What did you guys dress up as Halloween, and are you dressing up this year? We went as a pink lady, and I went as Danny from Greece, and it was fun. It was a fun party. To go as Danny from Greece, I had all this stuff in my hair and the white t-shirt and all that. And it was a fun party to go to because they throw this party every year, and it seems like it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's a really fun thing to do. So let me read about what you guys are doing. Let me see here. What you're up to today as we kind of go through this. Butter, everyone's talking about the butter in this. Yeah, the butter is nice. It's nice to put it in here as we stir this up, and it's just getting thicker and thicker. We're really just waiting on our biscuits to finish up at this point. And they don't look like they're cooking to me. This is the thing when you do this live like this. You just never know what's going to do. I made these biscuits a couple of days ago just to make sure that I could do this in an amount of time that was acceptable. And they finished at the same time. So I'm not real sure why it's doing that, but it is. So we're going to keep on working here and get it done. So I was telling you guys I like to do this stuff, and just for fun, if you like it, give it a like, and that helps me out. I'd like to know what you guys would like to see me make as the holidays approach us, okay? I can tell you one of the things I'm probably going to make here, and this might be during the week. We have a chili competition at work coming up, okay? It is, I think, the 17th. And I am usually the one that talks the most junk and tells everyone that they're going to lose. So I've never won yet. So I teamed up with a coworker one year. I think we placed first or second. I can't remember. But I always talk a big game, and then I feel like that they know which one is mine, and they know they're not going to let me win. So if anybody from work is watching right now, I'm watching. I'm paying attention. So, but I'll probably make our chili here just for fun, so you guys can see what I put in my chili. I was thinking about some things that we can make around Thanksgiving, maybe a couple of holiday dishes, but some other things that you can make that maybe you might not think about, like the night before Thanksgiving dinner, those couple days after Thanksgiving dinner, where you don't want turkey or you don't want leftovers. These are some of the things that were just popping in my head. A homemade lasagna, maybe a bolognese, which is a recipe from the New York Times, which is fantastic. Also, a Dorito salad, which is really fun to make. Let's look at my biscuits. Oh, I'm telling you, I feel like my oven has just stopped. It's okay. That oven and I are going to have a discussion one day, and it's not going to win. It's not going to win. It will be replaced. Anyway, let's talk about what you guys are doing. Oh, clam chowder. There's a clam chowder recipe. I found that from New York Times too, and it is fantastic. The lasagna is great. Enchiladas. I don't really know how to make enchiladas very well. Shambach makes an enchilada. I'm just looking at your memory. Your mom made this for you. Green chili. Oh, with hatch chili. Yeah, that sounds good, Mike. Shambach has an enchilada recipe. I should get that from her because she's given it to me before, and I may have it up here. It's really easy to make, and it's really good. And so it's a fun one to do. So I'm looking at the clock. I'm looking at my biscuits. I'm actually going to turn the heat up on them just a little bit because I don't think that they're cooking like they need to be. We'll get this done so you guys can get on with your brunch and get the day started. A couple of appetizer things that we might make. One, I make a sriracha and brown sugar bacon, which is really good. I make it's brie and pomegranate little breads or little toast, little crisps things that are really good. And we'll make that. Hey, I just saw Jonathan Cooper log on. Hello, friend. He told me that his grandmother makes this as well. And so it seems like chocolate gravy is the thing that grandmothers make. It's what they do. So again, when we go over the ingredients of this stuff, let me talk to you about them real quick. I've got them written down because now our biscuits are just about done. We're getting there. Whew. That's some stress. Here we go. Kate, I'm just reading over this. You know my frustration. Especially when you're trying to do this all in one little thing here. It's hard. So your 7-year-old granddaughter will show me how to make an awesome enchilada. I love it. Your grandmother made chocolate gravy. Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. So let's go over the ingredients one time, and then I think our biscuits will be very close to being ready. You need 1/4 cup of cocoa. Hershey's cocoa is fine. 3 tablespoons of flour, 3/4 cup of white sugar, 2 cups of milk, a teaspoon of butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. That's all you need to make this work, okay? So let's go ahead and take this off the fire because that's really close. Turn that off. Add our butter, okay? Stir it in, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Do you buy vanilla? Do you have this dilemma whether to buy the imitation or the real? This is like $8 or $9. Seriously. The imitation is 98 cents. Well, I looked at the ingredients on the imitation. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's fine. But the one I looked at didn't even have vanilla in it. So I just thought, well, I'm not going to do that. So I just suck it up and do it. But I will tell you, once you add the vanilla in here and the butter, it makes it creamier and it really smells good. So at this point, it really smells good. This is easy to make. And I just went through all the ingredients, right? So here's your hack, here's your cheat. If you don't want to mix all the ingredients together, buy cook and serve Jell-O chocolate pudding. It's the same. Okay, it'll be, no one will know the difference. It's the same. So I'm not trying to discount this. I'm just telling you it's just as easy. But this is what a grandmother would do, and it's fun. Let me read a couple more of your comments. You think vanilla's got to be real? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no imitation. It's tempting though. I mean, when you're looking at it's $9. Come on. I just pulled my mic. Okay. I see biscuits. Where's my, here we go, my little mitt. We're close. We're nearly ready. I got to do this just a little bit differently. I put 2 mitts out and one is missing. I have a missing mitt. We're good. Because guess what? Cast iron is hot. Okay. There we go. Finally, we have canned biscuits. How hard was that? Again, if you guys like seeing this, please give it a like. I want to know if you like seeing this stuff. Share it if you like. I love it. Again, I'm trying to make sure that I'm making things that you want. If you enjoy seeing it. It's Sunday. There's not much going on if you're just hanging out at the house. These are hot. So, you can do this 2 ways. You just put it like this. And then you look for what I want to serve this with. There it is. None other than a gravy spoon or a gravy ladle. All right. I'm going to give you 2 ways to do this. I'll do it 2 different ways. You can serve it up like this, or you can serve it how I would do it as a kid. All right. You just pour it over. This is so easy. I promise you, your kids, your husband, your wife, they will love you for this. Okay? It's beautiful, right? So this is the way Paul does it. You put the gravy... Oh, I just lost my spoon. Of course. I'm giving the camera that look. So let's just do it like this, okay? We'll just pour it. Make life easy. Here we go. That's how Paul does it. You ready? Ugh. And this is the bite that I'm going to take. I break up the biscuit just like this so it can go right in. This is 8-year-old Paul having this right now. Reminds me so much of my grandmother. She was one of 18 children, so she knew how to cook. So here we go. I tear it in there like that. And just stir it around, dip them in there. That way, if you think canned biscuits are the worst thing, you won't know. They're fine. You won't die. You'll love them. Here we go. You ready? It looks hot. And in an instant, I'm 8 years old at my grandmother's house, looking at that blue clock that you see right there, sitting at a table about this size that was made of a ceramic metal. You know what I'm talking about? Those old antique tables that are made of ceramic. Good memories. All right, guys. That's how you make chocolate gravy. That is how you make hot pudding and chocolate biscuits. It's easy to do. I've enjoyed spending the time with you this morning, this afternoon, wherever we are. Include this in your next brunch, and your friends will love it. Have a great day, everybody.